guys, welcome back to my channel for a Q&A video. I haven't done one in a couple of months, so I thought it would be time to do another one. And if we're being completely honest here, which why not, these are the easiest for me to film because you ask the questions, I give the answers, and it's just really easy and fluid. And these are the easiest videos to edit, in my opinion at least. Any kind of sit-down video is easy. So I know if I'm kind of getting bogged down and I need a couple of days to do other things instead of like vlogging all day, these videos are relatively easy for me to kind of put out there for you guys. So I do ask my questions over on Instagram. So if you're not following me there, that's kind of where I get all of the questions at, because it puts them in this nice little assortment of, you know, it's all in one place. Instead of having to scroll through a bunch of comments, I just have it on the stories. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started so we can just get this rolling. The first question says, what made you start YouTube? Biggest pros and cons? So I originally started YouTube thinking that I was going to be like a baby name channel, and then I thought I would go ahead and share my infertility story and kind of what was going on when we started trying to get pregnant. And I was very scared, you guys, to start sharing the infertility because at the time I didn't follow any infertility YouTubers. I didn't realize infertility was even a thing, I guess. I didn't realize it was such a common thing. I mean, 1 in 8, guys. 1 in 8. That's astounding to me because I thought it was like 1 in 100 or like something like that. And so I was very scared, and I'm so glad that I did. I've met so many of you, connected with so many of you, and I'm just so happy that I decided to share. Biggest pros of YouTube, like I said, meeting people, meeting like-minded moms who are going through the same things that you are. You know, I've met friends that I actually will be meeting in real life. Some YouTubers that live closer to me within like, you know, a couple of hours, I guess. And just connecting with women everywhere and being able to share that story. The biggest con of YouTube, I think the most honest answer is dealing with people who are keyboard warriors, trolls, you know, people who just don't want to be positive. They want to come through and just leave the nastiest negative type comments to tear you down, not because of you, but because of something that they're going through themselves. It has nothing to do with you when someone writes mean things. It has everything to do with them. So that's one thing that even I have to remember whenever someone leaves negative comments. I have to say, okay, this is about them, and it says more about them than it says about me. It still gets on my nerves. There's times that I get a random comment and I'm like, and I want to be petty and like write back. And I have a couple of times and then deleted it like right then because I don't want to go to that level and let myself get mad. But that's the biggest con of YouTube for sure. Any kind of public forum, it's bound to happen. Next question, how are the twins sleeping? Great. I'm so glad to answer this question. For the first time in the past couple of days, I have been waking up before any child, any of the twins, Aniston, everyone. I'm waking up naturally without being kind of startled awake from sleeping, and it feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they just turned 6 months, and it just started happening like a week ago, and I'm very happy. They go down between 7 and 7:30, just depending on how their schedule goes that day, and they wake up around 6:30, which is amazing. I naturally wake up around 6:15. So it's nice to kind of wake up, stretch it out, and just kind of be awake and then wake up. And I will add that you guys have asked for a sleep video, and I am going to film that for you guys. So look forward to that coming in soon in the next couple of weeks. Next question is, what's your B-Day? How old are you? I was born December 22nd, right before Christmas, and I am 27, about to be 28. Next question is, what were all of the kids' names going to be if they were the opposite gender? So actually I know Paige's because Brian and I actually talked about this once. If you're new here, Paige is my bonus daughter, but I do know that Brian mentioned once that she would have been named Owen if she had been a boy. I was just curious once, and I just straight up asked him because I'm a baby name person and I was curious, and he said Owen, and Aniston would have been named Tripp, Tripp. I laugh now because I would not use that name now. I don't know why I liked it so much back then. I think it may have been because Bristol Palin had just named her son Tripp like pretty soon before that, and I think I really liked how it sounded. But I would not use that name now. I think it's cute as a nickname if you're like the third child, but I wouldn't use that name now. And then the twins, it's kind of hard because I feel like, you know, if we had had just one baby boy, he would have been named Rafe. And if he had been a girl, it would have been Winslet, and vice versa. But if we would have had 2 girls, we would have named them either Winslet and Story or Winslet and Maisie. I really liked both of those names. Brian was on board with those as well. If we would have had 2 boys, we would not have had either one of them named Rafe, just because I would not have given one baby a name that I've loved for my entire life, and then the other one just kind of picked something. So if we had had 2 boys, I think we would have named one of them Cohen. We both kind of liked that name. We also liked Jesper and Jensen. So somehow we would have came up with names. Jesper was actually the name that we took to the hospital with Rafe. I kind of freaked out and thought when I saw an ultrasound of him that he didn't look like a Rafferty or Rafe to me. So if we had chosen to not use that name, he would have been named Jesper. That's a Czechoslovakian name Brian just loved, and I liked that you could call him Jess for short because Gilmore Girls, hello. So I feel like maybe Jesper would have came about if we had had 2 boys or something, but definitely if we had had the opposite gender, I feel like we still would have had Winnie and Rafe, so I don't know. The next question is, do you have any embryos left? Yes, we have 1 embryo left. And the next question is, if I could live anywhere in the world without money worries, where would I live? And I would live in Australia. Not that I even know what it's like because I've never been there before, but I think from what I see on Pinterest and travel websites, it's beautiful. This is cliche, but I love their accents. I think it's amazing. And I like kangaroos too, but I also like the water and the beaches. And I just think the kind of lifestyle there is more in line with me. I really like beach towns. I grew up close to Panama City, so just having that kind of very easygoing way of life with like no worries, that's kind of the life that I would like to lead. So I think I would probably pick Australia if I visited and liked it. Definitely there. The next question is about the podcast. They wrote, is the podcast not happening now? They're referring to the podcast because I'm moving. You guys probably already know that. My dog sees other dogs outside. I just saw one walk by and she's going to get mad. Hopefully she'll stop barking. But actually the podcast is still happening. You can actually film a podcast with anyone anywhere in the world as long as they have an internet connection, I'm pretty sure, because there's software that you can both kind of like log into pretty much, and you're speaking to each other almost like Skype but via a podcast software. So our intro's done, our music is done, the name, we have an Instagram page already out there, just kind of hanging out for us. And all we have to do now is kind of make sure we like the mics that we have chosen. And we're probably going to find a producer. My stepdad most likely will actually produce our podcast now that I'm moving down there. But we may test out other producers just so we can kind of learn the ropes about the new software that we're going to be using. But yes, it is coming. It's coming relatively soon. So moving won't change that. It'll just change the way that we make it happen, I guess. The next question is, what is the toughest thing about being a mom? Oh gosh, this is such a good question. I think one of the hardest things about being a mom in general is the mom guilt. This is probably a very common answer, but it's real. You know, I have mom guilt a lot of the time. I just try to work around it and make up for the times that I'm feeling kind of guilty. I think that it's just a natural thing, like now that you are a mom and you have these little, you know, offspring, if you will, and little kids that rely on you for everything. If you want to do something for yourself, you just feel guilty. You also worry about them a lot. Like Aniston going to kindergarten this year, I'm like worried sick about her going to kindergarten. Like, what if, you know, there's bullies or something? I don't know, because school's different now than it was when I was in school. So it's just everything. It's always something. You're never just at peace. There's always something in your mind, a to-do list, a worry, or something. So that's the toughest thing, which is basically everything. The next question is, are you and Brian going on a getaway before the deployment, just the two of you? No, we actually were going to do, this past weekend was our wedding anniversary. We were going to go out of town. It didn't end up happening. I don't really want to get into it. It's not mine or his fault or anything. It just didn't end up happening. And what we decided to do instead is actually have date nights set up. So we actually don't do date nights ever. I'm not one of those couples who goes out every Thursday night on a date night. I think that's fine for some people. It's just not us. I don't really feel the need to go out every single week on this elaborate date night. I much prefer to kind of look forward to it for, like, you know, a month or 2 months and have, you know, a date night. I think I personally appreciate it more when I have time to kind of look forward to it instead of it being routine. I think it makes it more special to me, in my opinion. So what we've decided to do is do one date night per month. Or I think it's every 3 weeks until he leaves. We just did one, and the next one's going to be in August. Then we have one in September. And then when we get back from our vacations in September, we're going to have one more before he deploys. Because he is deploying at a later part in the fall. So we're kind of trying to, like, stagger them out and have a few more than normal. So we kind of get more time on separate nights versus just one little trip away. My parents will be keeping all of our kids overnight for one night while we're down in Alabama in September. So that'll be a nice little, like, full night little time for us. But as far as going out of town, no. I don't really want to leave the twins either. That was another thing. I was only willing to go for one night anyways. So I couldn't imagine leaving them for like 3 or 4 nights at this point. The next question is twin life harder or easier than you expected? It is a lot easier than I ever thought it would be. And I hate saying that, but it's true. I honestly thought it was going to be. People tried to, like, scare the living daylights out of me. They're like, oh, bless you, you know. People just say things sometimes, and it's like, really, please keep your opinions to yourself. Anytime I'm out in public now with the twins, people are always like, wow, your hands are so full. If I go to Target, I guarantee you I will hear it at least 3 times while I'm there. I promise you, I need to film it one day and put a camera in my purse and let it record the audio. I will hear it at least 3 times, and it gets so frustrating sometimes. Oh, you got your hands full. It just gets to be really repetitive, and it's like, I know. I get it. Or the people are like, wow, you're brave bringing them out. And it's like, not really, because, I mean, people have more than one kid all the time. They're not always exactly the same age, but, you know, it's fine. But honestly, it's been a lot easier. The schedule thing, though, is the main reason why I think it's a lot easier than I thought. I thought the whole schedule situation would be non-existent having two, but they naturally just kind of fell on the same schedule, which has been very helpful for me. So I think that is probably the key to having multiples, is schedule, schedule, schedule. The next question is, where's your favorite place to buy baby clothes? I recently kind of discovered H&M. Like, I know it's always been there, but I've never purchased anything from them until about a week ago when I went on their website looking for picture clothes for our family pictures. And I loved everything on their website. I was like really surprised. So that's probably my new favorite. I would say H&M, but I also really like shopping at Dillard's. And I really enjoy some of the brands that they have at Dillard's. There's a lot of variety as far as brands. Some can get a little bit pricey, in my opinion, for baby clothes that they're not going to wear, but, you know, twice. But definitely H&M. I really, really like their stuff. The next question is, did you ever think or dream of having twins one day before you started having children? This is so funny. When I just read this, I was like, yes, girl, yes. So this is a really random story. But when I was like 15, or I want to say I was 16, 15 or 16, I dated the same boy from 15 years old until 18 something. That's the one I told you guys a long time in story time that I got married at 17 to. So my high school boyfriend, I guess, I said one time to him, we're gonna have boy-girl twins, and we're gonna name them Connor and Cadence. And I said that and I was like so sure of myself. I thought having boy-girl twins would be just awesome. And so funny now, when I got pregnant with the twins and found out they were boy-girl twins, that memory just popped into my head. And I haven't thought of that memory in so many years. But yes, to answer that question, yes, once upon a time I did say I'd have boy-girl twins, but that I would name them Connor and Cadence. The next question is a question that I get asked every day in my DMs on Instagram, literally every day. I get asked in the vlogs sometimes, and that question is, how do you manage taking care of twins, toddler, as well as your household and school? So I do have a lot going on, especially when someone hears, okay, you're in school, you're a mom, you have these baby twins, you have, another child, then we have a fourth child in and out. I don't know if you guys realize how often my husband is here. He works a week on, a week off. And I will say, if he was not here, if he worked a typical like 8 to 5 job every day, I'd be like, send help. This is my imaginary flag. Help me. But because of his schedule, he's here during the day, you guys, often. He works, so his week on, week off. When his week's off, it's his week off. But when his week is on, he only works 4 days and then 3 overnights. So we're talking, there's a span of like 10 days during the day that I can get stuff done, which is so, so nice to have. Especially when I got my gym membership, people are like, how do you have time for the gym? And it's like, well, 1, they have childcare, but 2, because Brian is here and we can kind of switch off and do things. So I used to hate the pilot schedule. Now I love it because it's so beneficial and it just works out great for us. So I don't want anyone to get discouraged whose husband works like a 9 to 5 or even works out of town. It would not be possible without his schedule. It just would not happen, you guys. So that's the reason why I'm able to get a lot of stuff done and I can take a lot on my plate, is because I have a lot of help from him. Now, during the deployment, however, there's going to be a few months here at the end of the year that I have no help. That'll be crazy, but then I'll move, obviously, with my parents, and I will have that help again. So I'm about to, be in a little hard time, because I will not be used to having 0 help, and I'll probably understand what a lot of you guys are going through, so I'm kind of dreading it. The next question is, are you looking forward to moving back to Alabama? If so, what have you missed? Yes, I am looking forward to it, but I don't want to rush anything. Like, I'm not like, okay, Brian, hurry up and deploy. Like, come on into the year so I can move. Like, that's not how I'm feeling right now. Once it comes time to move, I'll be like, yes, I'm really excited. I'm moving there to chase a dream. I'm moving there to, get the help with my children and do something that I've wanted to do and that my husband is supportive of. Really key word for some people who had negative reactions to me moving. All that I care about is that he's supportive. So that's all that really matters, honestly. Little tangent there. But obviously I miss my mom and my best friend and, that stuff. So we will just skip all the sentimental stuff. And I will tell you guys, all I care about is the food and eating. Oh my goodness, you guys. Cornbread, fried fruit, turnip greens, collard greens, oysters, all the things. I want to eat all the things when I go down there. Sweet tea. We don't have real sweet tea here unless I make it myself. Sweet tea is just a staple of life down there, and I just grew up on it, and here it's nasty crap if you ask for sweet tea. I'm also excited for the weather. Warm weather all year round. Yes, please. Give me a ticket to warm weather all year round because I love that. I'm actually looking forward to church. The church I went to high school or grew up in and went to high school is when I went a lot of the time, and really my faith kind of changed in high school. And I really just found God in that time. And this one church is just so close to my heart. And I randomly will watch it on some Sundays live, like their live service. But I cannot wait to go back to my kind of hometown church that I grew up in and really found God in. And it's going to be right there in my hometown I can go to every Sunday. So, and I can let my kids go. Obviously, it's only for like a short while in the span of life. But yeah, I'm really excited for that too. The next question is, what does your arm/wrist tattoo stand for? Love watching all of your vlogs. I don't really want to say what it stands for, but I will tell you it's this tattoo right here. It's a cursive C. It is for a name, and the story is kind of long, but it's also kind of a really personal story. I don't really want to share that story. But it is a cursive letter C, and I thought it was really kind of a delicate place to put it. And yeah, I don't regret it. If you're wondering, I don't regret it. I love this tattoo. I think it's so, I think it's so pretty. But yeah, it is the letter C for a name. The next question is, where in Alabama will you be living? I will be living in South Alabama near Fort Rucker Army Post. The next question is my current Starbucks order. What is it? I try to respond to you guys every time you guys ask this in the vlogs, but it is right now I'm obsessed and I'm loving, and every time I go to Starbucks I order the same thing. It is a vanilla sweet cream cold brew, but substitute sugar-free vanilla, add extra sweet cream, and some caramel drizzle. So good. The next question is, have I ever tried the murder cases from Amazon? I didn't even know they had murder cases, okay? You guys know I love the Hunt a Killer subscription box. Love it. It's so good, so well done. I recommend it to anyone that wants to do it. It's a little pricey, but it's honestly, you guys, it's so worth it. But now I need to look into the Amazon ones, because I had no clue they had a murder case. I'm going to look into it and let you guys know, but I'm excited now. Last question, because we're getting kind of long up in the video. And this is, what is your, well, someone just asked what kind of vacuum I use in my cleaning videos. I'll link it down below. I link it below the cleaning videos. It's a Tenneco cordless vacuum, but I'll link it. The last question is, what is your best advice for moms? This is, again, a very typical answer that I hear 1,000 times, but make time for yourself. I know it's hard sometimes. If I didn't have Brian's schedule like it was, I think it'd be a lot harder for me as well. But when I get time to myself, even if the twins, when they go to bed and Aniston's still awake, I'll let her go ahead and have some movie time in her room if she wants it. And then I will paint my nails. I will lay in bed with a little bowl of, you know, whatever I want and watch a show that I've been wanting to watch, or just anything. Right now, all my extra time that I have is normally studying, which is okay, because that's my me time too. I actually like to study. I like to write out my notes like I'm still in high school or something. But even if it's just a shower, like your husband's home, say, hey, I need 15 minutes to take a bubble bath or a shower and shave your legs or whatever. I think that's the key as far as having sanity goes, being a mom and being busy in life with 1,000 things going on. I know the feeling of having 1,000 things going on, but I also don't know the feeling of having 1,000 things going on with no help. So that's one thing that I can't really give you advice on. If you're, say if you're a single mom with, you know, several kids and you don't have parents nearby, my heart just, like, I don't even know, like, how to handle that situation. But after bedtime, just do something for yourself, even if it is just painting your nails, or if it's doing a hair treatment on your hair, or doing a face mask, or anything, you know, reading the Bible, or, you know, getting a magazine and kind of like diving into Cosmopolitan after they go to bed. Just do something for yourself. 5 minutes, 2 hours, whatever you think is necessary, just do that, because I think it honestly is just very helpful. It allows you to kind of, you know, it allows you to kind of be you, and you weren't always a mom. So that person before you didn't die because you became a mom. It just got a lot busier because you are now a mom. So just keep that in mind if you can ever make time for yourself. If you have to take a half day from work and use a vacation day, like a couple hours, go see a movie. That was my favorite thing to do when I worked, was on my half day, go see a movie. I loved every Wednesday because I could go see a movie, you guys. I'm a movie buff. I loved it by myself. That's the best time to see a movie, by yourself. No one can talk to you. You ain't got to worry about anything else. And you can eat whatever you want. Like, that was my favorite thing to do when I worked half days, was go see a movie in the afternoon. So that's my advice for you. If you're a mom, just make time for yourself wherever you can. So that's going to be all for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, I'd love to have you subscribe, and I have some videos linked down below for you if you are curious and need to catch up. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. He got me good in his pocket.